Hey guys, welcome to Learn with Lolly. Today we'll be discussing art history and taking a look at several images. An image we will be discussing is Summer Trees by Song Sunam. We can see in the artwork there are ink lines which vary in size. These lines may be a group of pine trees which can symbolize a gathering of friends of upright character. The function of Summer Trees was created so the artist could express his views about the use of Western mediums for art. Through the use of calligraphy ink, he embraced his Eastern thoughts about the creation of art. In Korea during the 1980s, there was a tension between the influence of Western art that used oil paint and the traditional Korean art that was East Asian style. Song felt that the materials and styles of Western art did not help him identify as Korean. The style used to create this artwork was sumukwa, which was ink wash painting which allowed Song to express his Korean identity. Sumukwa was important because these same materials were used to write poems which were an important factor to Korean culture. Sumwaka provided Song and his circle, the Oriental ink movement, a way to express Korean identity. Since antiquity, the country had taken a great pride in political and cultural distinctiveness that was recognized throughout Asia. Yet the 20th century had brought humility and drama. The end of the Korea's ancient monarchy, colonization by the Japanese who attempted to obliterate Korean language, mass destruction during the Korean War, and the partition of the nation. In South Korea, where Song lived, the country was healing but endured strict government and student arrest. People lived in constant fear of hostility from North Korea. For protection, they accepted American military presence. Sumakus presented a compelling antidote to psychological displacement felt by Song's circle of artists and intellectuals. A model individual of character and moral compass no matter what challenges life presents. A way of expressing those ideals through his iconic tools of ink and brush. Summer Trees, with its allusion to friendship and a balmy season, could be Song's statement of optimism and the rediscovery of traditional values, recast for modern times. The patron of Summer Trees was Picasso. This work was created to explore social tensions of Western art versus Korean traditional art, using ink in the abstract form. Summer Trees was intended to be a public work. The artist wanted to express his views about the Western medium of art coming into Korea. The way of painting samwakwu allowed him to express his views. Summer Trees by Song Sunam isn't a realistic depiction of trees, but the brushstrokes which stand for trees. Song Sunam addresses modern art, but focuses on the traditional aspect of his work. The work fits under the themes of the individual and society as well as knowledge and belief, as Song Sunam is addressing art in the modern world by making reference to strong traditional culture value. In Chinese poetry, mountain landscapes and the plants that grow in them serve as metaphors for the ideal qualities of the literature himself. Qualities such as loyalty, intelligence, spirituality, and strength in adversity. The world the literist wants to live in one of the beauty, deep in nature away from the centers of power and money. These themes provided painters with a library of motives. Song's interest in abstraction and the formal properties of ink has led some art historians to attribute the inspiration for his artwork to that of American artists like Morris Louis, who used the medium of acrylic resin on canvas in his striped paintings of the 1960s, which you can see on the board, which resembles Song's work of later decades such as Summer Trees. But in Korea during the 1980s, there was a tension between the influence of Western art that used oil paint. Another artwork that Song Sunam created was Diamond Mountains, which was also ink on paper. As we look at the image, we see numerous peaks at the top. The preparing painting surface in abstract brushstrokes makes it clear this is a modern painting. Song Sunam wanted to create an exciting composition in which brushstrokes play a major role. The movement of his brush, producing black brushstrokes with dry streaks, creates a modern sense of drama. The painting surface appears first to have been covered with light ink, and then splashed with minute ink droplets, interspersed with bigger drops to create a textured background. Several broad and wet brushstrokes, both angled and curved, create light and dark areas that serve as an initial step in working out the composition. Large curving brushstrokes placed at the bottom anchor the composition. Successfully, smaller curves are piled upon the base, evolving into peaks at the top. Tree by Song Sunam is another version of Summer Trees but was painted before Summer Trees. It shows the brushstrokes of Song Sunam. We can see that there's a feathery outcome to the painting, which is where the pine cones stand. Another image we'll be looking at is the portrait of Sukju. Sukju was an official honored for his service to the court and loyalty to the king during a chaotic period. We see Sukju dressed in official robes with the rank badge on his chest. Sukju's rank badge has a pair of peacocks surrounded by plants and clouds. He is seated in a full-length view, head turned slightly, only one ear showing, which was common during this time period. Rank badges are typically made of embroidered silk. They indicate the status of the official, which could be anyone from the emperor down to a local official. Here, Sukju's rank badge shows a pair of peacocks amongst flowering plants and clouds, and especially luminous with the use of gold embroidery. Crafted in sets, rank badges were both worn on the front and the back of the official overcoat. The painting of Sukju was originally supposed to be placed within the family shrine to guide the soul into the practice of ancestral worship. The portrait of Sukju was originally painted over silk, which is a highly desired and greatly esteemed product, which shows the respect that this official should be offered. The meticulous brushwork on Sukju's face is even more striking in the comparison with the solid, undulating lines and bold blocks of color that define his attire. Highly skilled artists at the court may have collaborated on portraits, such that one artist may have painted the robes according to prescribed rank or title, while another may have painted the face in greater detail. Later portraits developed this interest in the face even further with the use of Western painting techniques introduced to Korea by Jesuit missionaries in China in the 18th century. The meticulous brushwork on Sukju's face is even more striking in the comparison with the solid, undulating lines and bold blocks of color that define his attire. Highly skilled artists at the court may have collaborated on portraits, such that one artist may have painted the robes according to prescribed rank or title, while another may have painted the face in greater detail. Later portraits developed this interest in the face even further with the use of Western painting techniques introduced to Korea by Jesuit missionaries in China in the 18th century. His appearance in preserving his rank during life, portrait painting served as a focus for ancestral rituals after his death. It was thought that when a person died, the soul of the deceased remained among the world of the living until it gradually disappeared. Rendered in the format of a hanging scroll, this painting likely hung within the family shrine to guide the soul in the practice of ancestral worship. In this way, portrait Sukju reflected both the honor that Sukju brought to his lineage, as well as Confucius' beliefs about the afterlife. By looking at the artwork, we can predict that the portrait was mainly created to remember and worship an individual who had a high authority and power. This somewhat links to the Confucian belief about ancestral hierarchy and giving worship to those who passed away. Portraits in Sukju and Summer Trees both are similar because they both were in the Korean style, and during the time period these images were created, there was the end of the Korean monarchy, and the Koreans from the east were being colonized by the Japanese, where there were many government unrest and student unrest. The influence from the west into Korea are both depicted in these pieces. Summer Trees was supposed to depict the strength of the Korean culture, while the portrait in Sukju was supposed to depict honor accomplishments. The style that was used in both these works was ink painting, which is a traditional Korean way. Thank you for watching another episode of Learn with Lolly. See you next time.